Hi there. Many of you are asking for a tutorial for the Black Lives Matter mask that I made recently, so here it is. This tutorial is meant for beginning sewers and for people that may be going to marches or protests and want a mask to wear for that. You could also wear these masks to the grocery store. Everybody is at a different point on the anti-racism journey. If you're at the beginning of that journey, that's great. Just know that if you're going to wear the words Black Lives Matter, you should also be investigating ways to put your privilege into action. So what we need to get started is a rectangle of fabric. I'm using white fabric because I can see through it, and you'll see why later, but this is just a sheet that I cut, and the rectangle you want to cut is 9 inches by 12 inches. So there's my rectangle. I printed these words on my computer. You can print whatever words you want, and we're just going to trace them onto the mask. You don't want the words to get so big because they'll sort of curl around your face and you won't be able to read them anymore. So I think not more than 4.5 inches by 2 inches, and I left about 3/4 of an inch at the top. We're also going to need elastic. Narrow elastic. If you don't have elastic, it's hard to find right now, you can cut 1 inch off the bottom of an old t-shirt. That works well also. If you do use t-shirt like that, you're gonna just pull it after you cut it until it kind of turns into this skinny little stretchy rope. And this is a great alternative to elastic. So once you've done that, we're going to cut our elastic or our t-shirt yarn into 2 pieces. And depending on the size of your face or your head, I would say anywhere between 6.5 inches to 7.5 inches is good. I like mine small. I'm going to do this one 6.5 inches, 6 5/8. And if you have a larger head, 7.5 inches, 7 inches is a good medium. All right, so we've got our 2 pieces of elastic ready to go. And you're also going to want a pipe cleaner, 3.5 inches of pipe cleaner or a similar wire. To put the letters on the fabric, a fabric marker is ideal. I just got these markers at Target recently. If you don't have a fabric marker, a Sharpie also works okay. You just want to make sure that the Sharpie is absolutely dry before you put your mask on your face. You might even want to wash it first. These tend to off-gas for a little while, so make sure that it doesn't smell anymore before you wear it. You could also use fabric paint. This is just regular acrylic paint, which is similar, and a brush. Both the fabric markers and the fabric paint will need to be heat set with a hot iron when you're done, and I'll show you that when we get there. So you're going to take your square of elastic and take it over to your square of fabric and take it over to your iron. We're going to press it in half. Fold it the long way. And then you can just slip your printed piece of paper right inside, up against the fold, get it centered, fold it over, like that. Now you should be able to see the letters through that. If you want to hold it steady, you could take it back to your iron and pin it down in the 4 corners so it doesn't zhuzh around. Grab your fabric marker and just start tracing the letters. You could also do this by hand, but if you don't have very good handwriting, this is a good alternative. Just like that. So to save us some time, I finished one earlier. So once you've colored in all of your letters or done whatever you want for the design of your mask, you're going to take it back to your iron and press it with a hot but dry iron for about a minute. Keep your iron moving so you don't burn your fabric. I did that quick because I actually did that earlier. And then you're gonna fold it in half again, inside out. So your printed side is gonna be hidden, and you're gonna fold it back, line up your corners, take it back to the iron and press that edge again. And now we're gonna pin our elastic into the inside. So when we turn it right side out, they'll be on the outside. So take one of your pieces, open this up a little bit, and you're gonna scooch that right in to that edge, just like that, right along the edge, and stick a pin in it. And you'll do that with your other one. You can kind of scooch it in with your nail a little bit to get it all the way to the fold. Pin that. And then you have these sort of free bits of elastic here. Curl those around to that corner and sandwich between your two corners. Pin that. So it's going to bunch up a little bit right there, but that's okay. And if you are making masks for other people, don't stick pins in your mouth. It's a terrible habit. There we go. So that's what that'll look like. Then we're going to sew around the edges in 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, which is about the width of your presser foot. But we're going to leave this bottom opening open just a little bit so that we can turn it inside out. If you're not super dexterous with your sewing machine, you might throw a couple of more pins in there, but I'm going to go for it. So, starting at a folded edge, stick that in there. Back stitch. We're going to kind of straighten this out as we go. Make sure you don't get your elastic caught anywhere other than just the corners. And try to keep it at kind of a 45-degree angle, that elastic at the corner. When you get to the corner, drop your needle, turn. And you can go about 3 inches, back stitch, clip your threads, and do the other side. I'm going to start in the middle and work my way this way. Leave about a 3-inch opening. Sew down that side, drop your needle, turn your fabric, make sure that your elastic is out of the way and only getting caught right at that corner. Threads, pull your pins, and then we want to just trim our corners so it'll look nicer when we turn it, but make sure before you do that that your elastic is caught in the right place. So this looks good. So clip almost to the stitching at a 45-degree angle on those two edges, and then at these corners clip across them. Don't clip your stitches. Just like that. And then, ooh, I did not leave very much room to turn it. Open up that little opening you left there and start to push everything through. pull your corners out with your elastic. And that's what we have, a little pillow with ear loops. So take it back over to your iron and press those seams nice and flat. You can kind of finger press them a little bit so that you get them nice and open and close to the stitches. So there we go. Now we just need to put the pleats in it. And I've adjusted the way I do my pleats a little bit just to make the letters easier to read. So the easiest way I think to do that is to fold your mask in half with your right side out, matching those top edges, like so. Oh, I almost forgot one step. Let's put our nose wire in first. So at this top edge, we're going to measure, here, find your center. Find your center by folding it in half and stick a little pin in there. That's the center of your mask. Measure 2 inches on either side of that pin. Stick a pin. So we've got 4 inches in the center of our mask marked out. Take it over to your machine and stitch about 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch from that edge and along one edge. Leave one side open because we're going to slip our wire in there. So we have a nice little channel for our wire. When you've cut your wire into a 3.5 inch piece, take a pair of pliers if you have them, and just bend in about 1/4 of an inch on either side so that we don't have the sharp part sticking you in the face. So through this opening you have in the bottom, you're going to slip this wire in and kind of work it all the way up to where you have that opening. Find the opening, scooch it in that little channel, just like that. Then we're going to stitch that side closed. If you want, you can leave that side closed and then you can take the wire out when you wash it, or if it gets kind of screwed up in there. I might just leave mine open for now. So now we need to do our pleats. Fold your mask in half like so. Press this edge. Now that we've done that, fold each edge into the center and press that. I'm on the back side of the mask now, folding inward. Press it. So now you have 3 lines there, which are now the tops of your pleats. And we're going to take each pleat, starting from the top, fold it down, make about 3/8 of an inch fold in there. Go ahead and pin it. Now, you don't want your pleats to overlap each other because that's going to be too much fabric to sew, but that's about what it should look like. You can measure them if you want to, or you can just go for it. So that's what our mask looks like. We have our pleats pinned in place. We're going to take it back to the machine and stitch 1/8 of an inch from the edge down this side, along the bottom, closing that opening that we made, and up the other side. Be careful not to hit your pins when there's a lot of pleats in the way. You can break a needle. Now I like to also stitch the edges of mine about 1/4 of an inch in, so I have 2 rows of stitching right next to each other, just on the ends. And now it's done. Black Lives Matter, of course, is a movement, but it's also an official organization that has local chapters. So please consider visiting Black Lives Matter Seattle King County for more information on how you can donate and other resources. Thank you.